International. No problem. So I've been pronouncing Mr. Blum's name wrong for I don't know how many years, and it is Blum, not Blum. So although the Kiwis need to see it as, I mean, the Americans see it as Blum.
There's every permutation possible. So yeah, as long as they call me, I don't care what they call me.
Anyway, you don't want me to sit here. We got a microphone over here. Come up, ask some questions. If the questions dry up, Steve has a 30-minute long monologue from Shakespeare that he does entirely in the voice of Wolverine, which is amazing. So I
in Japanese.
In Japanese, yeah. So I suggest you get him to do it. Failing that, he also does a lovely rendition of trains and the noises they make. So we have a huge round of applause for the man of many, many voices and our Guinness Book World Record holder, Mr. Steve Blum.
Hello, you guys. How are you? The last survivors. Look at you. You've survived the zombie-thon. Amazing. This is the apocalypse. I hope you realize that. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Steve Blum, and I'm a voice actor from Los Angeles. Some of you might know me as Wolverine from Wolverine and the X-Men, or Starscream from Transformers Prime, or COWBOY from DIGIMON. I've been at this for about 20 years, and people like Bill actually bring me out here to do stupid voices for you guys, so I'm very grateful to be here. And I'm here to answer your questions, so I think we'll just leave it up to you guys to fire away. Okay? Come on up.
I don't know if to move.
Hello?
So what is your favorite voice that you do?
Yours.
Well, go ahead.
No, I can't do it. I'm terrible at that. See, I can do that. No, my favorite voice is the character I'm working on this week because it means I'm still working. So I think next week I'll be doing some kind of creature that will be killed in various different ways. So it'll probably start out something like, and then they'll say, okay, now do him electrocuted. And they'll go, now do him on fire. So that's my favorite voice this week. So, and all the other ones are, you know, favorites because I love them for different reasons, but it's an impossible question to answer. They're like children. You wouldn't pick one and throw the rest away. Well, you might, but I wouldn't. So, well, maybe I would. Just one, no, I wouldn't. Okay, who's next? You guys are so polite.
How different is it working on games as opposed to like television when you do voices?
It's a lot more work to work on games because of the sheer volume of lines. And on like a TV show, a regular TV show, we'll work in a 4-hour session and we'll have a whole group of people, and so we have to wait our turn for our lines, and you know, usually there's 40, maybe 50 lines. It's a big part. On a video game, I might do 600 lines in a session in the same 4 hours. And you do those lines 3 or 4 or 5 times each. And like, you know, same with the electrocution. If you have a death scene, you have to die in every different way they can possibly think of. And even if you're looking at the script and they'll say, okay, now you die by electrocution, fire, stabbing, kicking in the head, they'll think of as many as they possibly can just to torture us in the room. So it's physically much more demanding. And you have to be able to be much more versatile as far as those kinds of reactions. Every fight scene that you hear, you have to be able to differentiate the sound of giving a punch as opposed to taking a punch. And it's as subtle as like, or, and it is an important distinction because when they animate to that, it's going to sound and look completely different. So that's the greatest distinction. And then on the original animation, things like Wolverine or Transformers, we are working with a cast, and it's a lot more fun. We're laughing, and there's a little bit of time in between. And it's hard to get any work done because we're all friends, and we're playing pranks on each other. People have cheese hanging out of their nose when you're trying to do a love scene. So it is a little more demanding that way, but each one has its own, you know, set of rules and difficulties. And anime is a whole different thing because we have to watch a screen with the original Japanese animation and look at the script and listen to the director and stay in character for 4 hours straight. So it's a lot of juggling. It's a good question.
How are you?
Hi.
Yeah. How are you today?
A little sleepy, a little nauseous, a little pregnant. Things happen at cons, you know. I'm good, thank you. Very good. Yeah, sad that it's almost over. But I'll be here in New Zealand for a little while longer to play, so that's all good. Yeah. Okay, who's next? Here we go.
Hi, I was just wondering, when you go to record a character, is there a certain method to fleshing out a character when you see them and you go to record? And also, my brother is a really big fan of Digimon and he can't make it to the con today. So could you say, hey bro, stay cool in your mom's voice?
What is his name?
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
Are you recording this?
Yep.
Hey Addington, I'm sorry you couldn't be here. Stay digicool, peace.
Thanks.
And as far as getting into the character, it's different for every single character. There are things like Wolverine, for example, who is dictated by the body type. Other characters I'm playing completely against body type, and so I'll use that as my first indicator. If they give me a picture, that dials me right in. But I'm not a classically trained actor, so I don't go through a typical method. And usually we don't have enough time to even do that. I'll walk into a studio, there'll be a script in front of me, and they'll say, okay, the character is 350 pounds and he's got a horn coming out of his head, go. And that's literally all we have. And then sometimes they'll change it up and they say, okay, that was pretty good, now give him a Mandarin accent. And now give him some sort of speech affectation. He's got huge fangs coming out of his mouth. You know, so it happens that fast. There's really no time for thinking. And it's really a matter of having done it for so many years, being able to pull something out of whatever orifice it's coming from. Okay, who's next? Who's my next victim? Step forward or I'll hunt you down. Yes. Hi.
Hi there. I was wondering if you had the choice to pick an anime character to voice, either from newer stuff or older stuff, what would you pick?
Sailor Moon. I've been so lucky, you know, I don't look at the characters I'm not playing, I think about the characters I am, and I just try to do the best job there. So I don't know, it's hard to say, and I don't watch a lot of anime. I don't watch a lot of any of my shows. COWBOY BEBOP I hadn't seen until about 3 years ago, and I recorded it 14 years ago. So yeah, I don't really think about stuff like that. I live in the present. Yeah, thank you for that though.
Hi.
Hi.
First thing, thank you for coming out to New Zealand. I know it's far away from...
Hey, I get a free holiday, man. Thank you.
Anyway, the question is...
See, it's not easy, is it?
Not when you put on the spot. The question is, what is your most enjoyable work environment? What I mean by that is, do you have a specific anime or cartoon that you enjoyed working with, you know, like with the directors, people, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm lucky in voiceover, most of the community is very friendly. We all know each other, so the only thing that wouldn't make it pleasurable at all is if we get a new director in who thinks he's better than everybody else and tries to make it his show rather than what the show is meant to be. So I don't really have a favorite type of environment necessarily, as long as the people are nice and the story is good and the writing is good, and I'm always working with my friends. So I'm just grateful to go to work every day. I would much rather be in the booth recording with people that I like rather than working on some huge production that I'm getting paid a lot for that I don't like. And for me, the money is so far less important than a happy working environment. And most of us really are going for the best possible product too. So even if there's roles that we think we're better for, I'm happy that my friend's doing it because I know he's going to do the perfect job on it. So you really don't, you can't have an ego when you're doing this kind of work. So yeah, I mean, there really is no preference. As long as it's a fun working environment, I'm good to go. And there are some projects that I'm really excited about. You know, when it's a big franchise that I've been following for a long time, and all of a sudden I get to play a little role in that. Like Scooby-Doo, I worked on Scooby-Doo for the first time. And being in the room with these guys who've been doing it forever, and I got to say, you know, if it weren't for those meddling kids, I squealed like an 8-year-old. It was fantastic, you know.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I'm working on a new Star Wars project now. It's called Star Wars Rebels. And also having my squealing fanboy moments, because I've been a fan of that franchise, as most of us have, for so many years. So I still get just as excited now as I did when I was a little kid. So I know I'm doing the right thing. Yep. Who's next?